Hey guys, welcome to part 4 of our weight loss series, and today we're going to be talking about how to count calories. So if you haven't watched the last 3 parts of this series, I would highly recommend that you do so to identify how much calories that you need to be consuming. So you don't need a lot of things in order to be counting calories. First of all, you need a weighing scale, preferably that is digital because it gives us a more accurate readout, and in this way of counting calories, I'm going to be using my phone and a free app that you can download to be counting the calories. Weighing scale kinda चाहिँ I would prefer you to have a digital one because it gives you a clear output on how much exact calories you're consuming, and something that is elevated, so when you put like a big plate or something, then it does not interfere with your measurement. So for example, I put it 0, but if suppose this is a big plate and it touches the place where it's not elevated, then the readout could be completely different and you could mess things up slightly. But if you have a weighing scale like this, make sure that you're putting the entire thing on where it's measurable, and make sure that the floor underneath is clean and dry. So because water bhayo bhane the measurement typically does not turn out to be accurate, and kitchen is the place where you normally do, and kitchen ma pani haru bhai nai rako huncha. So that's that. Second thing that we need is our cell phone, and download the app MyFitnessPal. Now there are other options as well, chronometer bhanne cha, and personally I've been trying out another tracking app recently, but I've used MyFitnessPal extensively in the past, so I would recommend that you use MyFitnessPal for now, and later when we have more updates I'll let you know which one's better or worse. But for now, we're going to be using MyFitnessPal. Most of these apps are similar, then they're different. So aliali functions are different, your option are different, but the entire process is pretty much going to be the same. So let's get started. First of all, obviously you need to download the app and then find it on your phone. Once you have this, it'll basically go through your entire setup. It'll ask you a bunch of things, your height, your weight, your activity levels, all the basic things. But what I want you to do is ignore all of these recommendations because we've already discussed the more reliable way of counting calories. And if you have a coach, I would recommend that you follow your coach's macros and just use the app for recommendation. So once we have all of this ready, then we want to get into tracking. So basically when we're tracking, single ingredient foods are easier to track than multi-ingredient food. So for example, when we need a lot of carbs, we instantly think rice. When we think of adding a lot of lean protein, we think of chicken breast. When we think of fats, we think of mostly oil, we think of almonds, all those things. But these are all single ingredient foods, and these foods are generally easier to track. And yo, editor Tyson here. So your video, I missed out a lot of little details because the video had too many things to cover and I missed out on some. But for this part, multi-ingredient food भनेको चाहिँ some foods that come with other macros ingredients as well. So for example, like when we're having chicken, it mostly comprises of just protein, but when we're having something like, let's say, soybean or something, for protein, carbs come as a filler as well. So this khanaharuma चाहिँ we just have to be a little bit careful on the total calories at the end of the day. So yeah, back to the video. I might be coming back soon. So most of the time when we're tracking our food, it's mostly on serving sizes, how many we're eating of those serving sizes, or how much grams or ounces that we're consuming of those particular sizes. And there are basically 5 types of food that I'm gonna teach you how to track today, and those are the first one is nutrition fact is mentioned on the label, and they also have pre-portion size for you. So this is cheese slices, and एउटा slice of food is 20 grams, and these are the macros that they have listed, and this is one of the easiest way to track. Second is when the nutrition fact is there, but they haven't determined proper serving sizes here. So it just says 32 calories ma 80 macros huncha, and yo चाहिँ we have to measure independently. Third is like foods like eggs, fruits, apples, bananas, all those things. As you can see, there's obviously no nutrition facts with this, and they're also not pre-portioned. Like all we can say is these are medium eggs, or these are small bananas, or something of that sort. This is the third group of food that we'll be tracking. Fourth and the fifth group of foods are foods that are basically out of your control. So the first one is like, I don't have any food here because it's locked down, and these are foods that are made outside of our control, but they're from popular brands. So sometimes you could be able to find these foods online or in their website. For example, KFC ko khana you could be able to find it, Pizza ko khana you could be able to find it. And this might not be too applicable in Nepal, but bahiratira there are more restaurants that give you nutrition facts and labels, so just an option, but something to be considered. And the last one is the most difficult ones, and this is food that were prepared outside your control, and it's not from any popular brand. So this could include street food, or this could include homemade food, and this is one of the most common ways that we will have to track, and I will talk about all of these foods step by step in a followable process. Now let's get back to our phone and let's get started. So the first way you can track your food, and this is for our easier sources, is you go into your phone, food, just put breakfast or something, and what you can do is you can scan the barcode of the food. So just open the app and then just look for the barcode and then scan it. And this will give you kind of an estimation of the number of servings, एउटा serving size कति हुन्छ, and it gives you your total calories. So this is very easy to do. यो भएपछि all you have to do is make sure that the macros from your tracking app and the food label is pretty close. So in our case it's pretty close here. So what I would do is how many servings of this that I want to have. So let's say I have 2 slices of this, so I just put 2 slices and then save it, and then basically just track it, and it will go under my calories. So that's the first way to do it. Very easy for food that have nutrition label and is pre-portioned. This is the easiest way to track. So the second option that we can do to track our same food is we can go into the library of MyFitnessPal and then search. So once you go to add food, and then you can search for the food. So this says Arla sandwich slices, and then search for it. So the first option is there, but what happens is sometimes you get a lot of different food options, and this is not the most accurate way to do it, because all of these are user inputted. So what you have to do is again open it and then see if it's close based on your knowledge and your experience, and choose the right food that is for you. So this is another way of tracking your food. So again, I want 2, so I just do 2 and then save it. The third option is you can create a custom food for yourself if it's not on the barcode or you cannot search it. So what you can do is you can make a custom food. So create a food, just the brand name, let's say Arla sandwich slices, serving size is 21 grams, and then it's in grams. Serving size per container, this is not too important, but let's just say it's my 10 slices, so 10. Here what we want to do is write in the total amount of calories. So we look at our food label, and then total calories per serving is 64 calories. Total fat is 5.4. Saturated fat, all these are not too important. We want to go to protein. Protein ma is 2.7 for protein, and then go down. Fats, carbohydrate counts. Okay, total carbohydrate, it's only 1.1 carbohydrate. And then dietary fiber pani, I would recommend that you put dietary fiber as well. My dietary fiber is 0, so save. No thanks. So हाम्रो नयाँ custom food is added, and then we can choose that food every single time. But this is not for just this food. अरू खानाहरुको लागि पनि I will be teaching you. So this is basically the way that you count all your macros. So first food option को लागि very easy. We remove it out of our way. Second is foods like this. This hasn't been opened yet. So second is foods like this, which you have according to your needs. And peanut butter ma chai serving size दिएको रहेछ यसमा चाहिँ, but it says 31 grams per serving. So let's say I want to have 1 serving of this peanut butter. What I do is put it on the weighing scale first, turn it on, and then remove about 31. remove about 31 grams of peanut butter from this and then track it the exact same way. And what we can do is we can do any one of those 3 options that we did with the sandwich. So the easiest one is obviously to scan the barcode. Compare the nutrition facts from the food and the phone. So यसको serving size भनेको छ 2 tablespoon. यहाँ पनि 2 tablespoon भनेको छ 8, 15 and 8. So this is again accurate. So 31 grams मैले निकाल्यो भने if I want to have 2 servings, then maybe I'll just put 2 here and then track it. And this is very easy. And for most of the time oatmeal गर्दाखेरि when we're measuring rice, it's easier to track in this way because when we do 2 tablespoons, sometimes it could be like you're consuming 60 grams of peanut butter. Well, it felt like you had 2 tablespoons. In fact, like मैले spoon nikalda, it was half of what this spoon was. So it's a good idea to track foods like this and oatmeal sabai kurako lai chai grams ma measure garnu hola. So this is the second group where we have it based on our needs. अब कति खानु मन छ त्यतिलाई खाने अनि ट्र्याक गर्ने. Let's move on to the third one. Food without nutrition label and no nutrition facts comes along. So यस्तो खानाहरु चाहिँ is quite confusing and कसरी ट्र्याक गर्ने, कति हाल्ने, के गर्ने थाहा नै हुँदैन. So what I would normally do is search. My first primary option would be to search MyFitnessPal को database to find the food, and this is going to be very confusing because obviously there are so many foods that will just come up when I just type in banana. When I search in banana, like there are so many different types of food that's gonna come up, and these tick mark bhako foods are MyFitnessPal approved, but this is also not going to be the most accurate way of counting your macros because there could be a lot of other things that could go behind how they put the macros. And what I would want you to do is use your best educated guess with the knowledge that you develop over time to identify which one of these might be the most accurate way for you. One medium banana bhandakheri pani there could be a lot of variation. So what I would recommend you to do is go down and then look for grams and then weigh out the banana. So this banana weighs 80 grams, so skin hatayo bhane maybe it's going to be about 70 grams. And this is how we track for our foods like this. If this is something that you're consuming on a regular basis, meaning you're having bananas or apples or eggs or something every single day, then I would recommend you to do is make a custom food from a database. So browser obviously, and then search for nutritiondata.self.com and enter a food name, let's say BANANA, banana, search, and then go to bananas. So once you get in here, then all you have to look for is carbohydrate. So carbohydrate ma 51.4 grams come from carbohydrate. त्यसपछि dietary fiber is 5.9, protein is 2.5, fat is 0.7. So what we do is we go into MyFitnessPal again, add food, create a food. So our food is banana, and then serving size was 225 grams. We just put it 1 next. So total calories was 200. You can see around over here calorie information. For carbohydrate it was 51.4, dietary fiber was 5.9, fat was 0.7, and protein was 2.5. And once we have all of this input, you can still add all of the optional stuffs as well, like sugars, calcium, iron, potassium, vitamins, if you are into tracking all those as well. But protein, carbs, fat, and dietary fiber will work for the most part. And then what we do is save, no thanks, and then we have a new food, and that is bananas. अब कति ग्राम banana खाथ्यो हामीले अघि So 1 gram, we had 80 grams of bananas, so that's going to be 18 grams of carbs, 0.9 grams of protein, 2.7 grams of fat, and this is the most accurate way of counting the third group of foods. But like I said, if you're on the run and it's something that you're only going to have once in a while, and then you look at this and you say, oh, this is a small banana, then I'll have a small banana banana. You can search the MyFitnessPal database and then track your food. So that's the third. The fourth group of food is, for example, like I said, KFC, Pizza Hut, from a well-known source. So just गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ the best way to look at it is just search for the food on your MyFitnessPal database, and we just search for KFC wings. And again, you'll get like a lot of options, and based on your educated guess with your knowledge that you develop over time, so you can choose one of the options that looks the most reasonable to you. So for me, a wing would be around 30 grams with my experience. This KFC wing is a bit small. I would just put in the number of wings that I had. Let's say I had 5 wings and then save it, and then this is gonna be my macros for my KFC wings. One of the things that I used to do when I was in Thailand was I used to have Subway sandwich, and they actually have like a nutrition facts on their website itself, and what I used to do is just look at the sandwich that I had, and then they had everything given here from calories, fats to carbohydrate, dietary fiber, and then it was much easy for me to track into MyFitnessPal when I was having from them. But this is like not like a really viable source for us in Nepal, because we have really good local restaurants here that don't provide us with nutrition facts. With that, we come to the last part of our food, where these are the types of food that were prepared totally out of our control. We don't have nutrition labels, there are no calories mentioned, there is no serving size, and you cannot find it in any website. You can search the database, which was so easy, barcode छैन, केही पनि छैन. So यस्तो खानाहरू चाहिँ is mostly like street food, local restaurant foods, and foods that are prepared at home without your knowledge. So these foods, what you can do is basically you cannot do anything. You have to look with the knowledge that you have of tracking over time and your experiences, how it affected your weight in return. So त्यो हिसाबले चाहिँ we're still going to track, and it is not the most accurate way to track it, but like I say to everybody, being 20% correct is better than 100% incorrect, and this will keep you accountable, because most of the time what happens is when people have no control over home food, like suddenly they go to like a friend's place and then they have to eat, they just go completely haywire, because like track गर्नु त मिल्दैन, कसरी track गर्ने, अब ठिकै छ भनेर झ्यापझुपै खाइदिन्छ सबै कुरा, and that is not good. So if you look at it, use the knowledge that we have and track to the best of our ability, it keeps us accountable. So for this food, for example, this is homemade chicken curry. So like I can give my educated guess as to how much food that there is on this curry. So looking at this, maybe there's about 150 grams of chicken, because I track chicken every single day. I can eyeball it, about 150 grams of chicken, maybe like 10 ml oil, because it's not too chillo. There are some onions, there are some tomatoes. Other than that, I don't see much. Maybe salt, so we don't really have to count. So with my educated guess, I'm just gonna open up MyFitnessPal again, and then I'm just gonna track every single food the same way that we did previously. So I said chicken, so chicken breast is all maybe about 120 grams. I would say 120 grams of chicken breast oil, cooking oil 10 ml oil होला. So यसरी नै I would track it, and this is one of the most common questions that I get, like Nepali dal bhat चाहिँ कसरी track गर्ने त. So first thing, if you are cooking the food by yourself, then before you prepare your food, let's say I'm preparing this chicken curry, measure all the raw ingredients, like chicken कति हाल्यो, त्यसपछि तेल कति हाल्यो, प्याज कति हाल्यो, गोलभेडा कति हाल्यो, तेल कति हाल्यो, and measure the whole thing. Let's say you prepared 1 kg of chicken at home, and then त्यसपछि चाहिँ let's say, and it came out to be 1000 calories, right? Like with your measurement, it came out to be 1000 calories. Let's say about 250 grams of protein, blah blah blah. 80 grams of fat. So you take out your serving and then deduct the total amount of calories. So let's say you had 200 grams, so make it 200 calories that you consume. So that's pretty easy. And Neha, for example, she's been making all sorts of good looking food like lasagna, pizza. What she does is she tracks the raw ingredients of every single thing that she puts, and then divide Garo. When she shares it with her family as well, she just divides the number of calories that she had and then tracks it on her own. And over time, when you go out, when you see similar foods, and when you've eaten the same thing a couple of times, it becomes more and more accurate. So it's a process. It takes a little bit of learning, a little bit of effort. So don't give up and keep tracking. And like I said, being 50% correct is way better than being 100% inaccurate in tracking, and that's what I would like you to recommend. So forgot to mention a small little detail on calories, that your total calories in is your caloric budget. So the higher caloric budget that you have, meaning you have more muscle mass, you're wanting to lose less weight, you're trying to gain weight, then you have more flexibility in your macros and you can eat more fun foods. And if your caloric budget or your calories that you need to consume are really low and you're on a deep diet or something, then you'll have to choose more single ingredient foods to micromanage the macros. And we've taught you how to do the calculation based on your goals, so make sure you keep that in account. Just like tracking your food won't make you slimmer, and if you press at calories remaining, they'll give you like an estimation of how much protein, carbs and fats you have consumed so far. So if you're low on carbs or if you're low on fat, then you need to use appropriate sources to hit those goals. And if you spend too much of your fat on ice cream, then the rest of your day might be more boring, in a sense that you have to choose more single ingredient foods. So choose your calories wisely, choose your macros wisely. Now back to the video. And one last question: do you have to track forever? अब एक ताल track गरेपछि do you always have to track forever? And the short simple answer is no, unless you don't want to be like a elite level athlete, professional athlete. For me, for example, I track all my food throughout the year. Even when I'm on vacation, I eyeball my food, and like I said, with the knowledge and experience of nutrition sizing, labels, serving sizes, I pretty much have like a small little database on my head of which I can track my foods off of. And then I use a simple app like MyFitnessPal throughout the year. Like when I see a cheese, I automatically know it's gonna be like 20 grams, and this is gonna have 80 grams of carbs, 80 grams of fats. I'll know automatically, so I just track that. When I look at peanut butter, most of the time serving sizes are about 30 grams. So it gives me about 8 grams of protein, 10, 12 grams of fat, 5, 6 grams of carbohydrates, and I know it's about 200 calories most of the time. When I look at chicken, 100 grams will give me around 25 grams of protein. Like when I look at rice, like over time, one egg gives me 60 calories, 6 grams of protein, 3 grams of fat. Like it just gets better over time, and then you can basically just eyeball. And when you're living life comfortably, it's very easy to maintain weight because you already have set habits that you're already following to stay on your diet. So I know मैले कति खाना खाइरहेको थिएँ अस्ति नै कट गर्दा, कति खाना खाइरहेको थिएँ अस्ति नै मेन्टेन गर्दा, how that much of food को hunger levels कस्तो हुन्छ यति खाना खाँदाखेरि भनेर चाहिँ you start to understand over time. And it's a process, and once you understand the basics, just to maintain, gain some weight, lose some weight, you won't have to track anymore. So that's the video for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This was a long one, but I hope you learned something. Like always, if you're interested in nutrition, training, coaching, reach out to me and I'll help make your life better, easier for you. And don't forget to like, share this with your friends, subscribe to this channel, and I will see you all next time.